Okay, so today we are going to see rotational motion. So rotational motion म्हणजे ॲक्च्युली काय असतं? आधी आपण सर्क्युलर मोशन बघितलं बरोबर. देयर इज वन पार्टिकल विच इज रोटेटिंग to form a circle or moving in moving along the circumference circle. Then that is called as circular motion. Okay. आता माझ्याकडे लेट्स से असे एक मोठी बॉडी आहे. ओके. सो ती पण एका सर्क्युलर पाथला फॉलो करते. ओके. देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज सर्क्युलर मोशन. आता मी तीच बॉडी रोटेट करतो फ्रॉम द सेंटर और ॲक्सिस विच इज इनसाइड दॅट बॉडी. ओके. सो आता माझी तीच मागाशी बॉडी आहे जी मागाशी सर्क्युलर मोशन परफॉर्म करत होती. आता माझा जो पॉईंट आहे सेंटरचा किंवा जी ॲक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन आहे दॅट इज इनसाइड दॅट बॉडी. ओके. सो आता काय होणार की आता ही बॉडी सर्क्युलर बॉडीमधले एखादा दुसरा पॉईंट किंवा ते आपण त्यामधला एखादा पॉईंट जर घेतला तर तो सर्क्युलर मोशन परफॉर्म करेल बरोबर. बट कम टोटल जे त्याचं मोशन असेल बॉडीचं किंवा जे सगळ्या पॉईंटचं कॉम्बिनेशन असेल मोशनचं दॅट मोशन विल बी रोटेशनल मोशन. सो रोटेशनल मोशन इज द मोशन ऑफ द बॉडी अराउंड इट्स ओन ॲक्सिस. ओके. सो this is the basic difference between circular motion and rotational motion. So now we will go for the terms related to the rotational motion. Okay, so we are not going to compare rotational motion with circular motion. We are going to compare it with linear motion. Okay, so linear motion चे basic equations काय असतात? Linear motion मध्ये आपल्याला kinetic energy चे equation पाहिजे असेल, then we use k is equal to half mv square. Okay, p हवं असेल तर p is equal to mgh. ओके. सो इथे त्या ऑब्जेक्टची प्रॉपर्टी कशाने डिफाईन होते त्याच्या मास. ओके. सो सिमिलर कन्सेप्ट इज यूज इन रोटेशनल मोशन कॉल्ड मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया. ओके. सो मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया म्हणजे काय? लेट्स से की एक माझी बॉडी आहे. ओके. इट इज परफॉर्मिंग रोटेशनल मोशन along axis at point O. Okay, this axis will be perpendicular to the plane of paper. आता मी त्यामध्ये एक आउटर मोस्ट पॉइंट कुठला तरी एक कन्सिडर करतो. ओके. सो दिस आउटर मोस्ट पॉइंट विल परफॉर्म सर्क्युलर मोशन लाईक दिस. ओके. सो त्या आउटर मोस्ट पॉइंटचं मास जर m असेल, ओके, अँड दिस डिस्टन्स बिटवीन सेंटर ऑफ ॲक्सिस और द ॲक्सिस at that point is r, then moment of inertia due to that point will be I is equal to m r square. Let us call it as small m. Okay. Now for this one point we will consider it as I1. So I1 m1 r1 square. Now for us even nearer point it will be I2 m2 r2 square. Okay. So if we take a group of all the points, okay, or we add the moment of inertia of each and every point in this body, so we will get total moment of inertia is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 up to In. Okay. Now I1 ची व्हॅल्यू काय होती? m1 r1 square. I2 is m2 r2 square. ओके. सो असे जे टोटल मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया आपल्याला मिळत जातील त्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला टोटल जी मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया मिळेल त्या सगळ्या पार्टिकल्समुळे जी होती दॅट विल बी इक्वल टू समेशन mi ri square. Okay. So if a single particle is performing circular motion or a rotational motion around an axis, so that's a moment of inertia will be mr square. But if a body is performing circular motion or not circular motion, a rotational motion, okay, around axis at point O. Then what we will do? We will use I is equal to MIRI square. As number of particles increases, I increases. Okay. So we are done with rotational motion. Now आता एक मोठा प्रश्न पडतो की जर समजा मी तर काय प्रत्येक पार्टिकलचं डिस्टन्स आणि मास मेजर करू शकत नाही. सो मी मुवमेंट ऑफ इनर्जी या बॉडीची कॅल्क्युलेट कशी करायची. सो फॉर दॅट वी यूज टर्म कॉल्ड एज रेडियस ऑफ गायरेशन. So what is radius of gyration? If a body has moment of inertia I, then its mass is considered to be concentrated at a point which is at distance k from the axis. Okay, so the moment of inertia will be mk square. Now हे कसं वर्क करतं? So if we have a axis at this point, okay, and this is our body. So आता काही पॉईंट्स इथे असतील, ओके, काही जवळ असतील, काही लांब असतील. सो वी कन्सिडर अ पॉईंट जिथे याचं टोटल मास जर एम असेल आणि या सगळ्या पार्टिकलचा मास जर एम स्मॉल एम. सो वी कन्सिडर अ पॉईंट जिथे हे टोटल मास एम विल बी कॉन्सन्ट्रेटेड. ओके, इफ दिस मास इज कॉन्सन्ट्रेटेड ॲट दिस पॉईंट, सो त्याचं डिस्टन्स जे असेल दॅट इट विल प्रिपेअर same moment of inertia as the original body, then it is called as radius of gyration. Okay, so this distance will be radius of gyration. हे काय करणार आहे की माझी जी ओरिजिनल मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया होती जी एंटायर बॉडीची, तेवढीच मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया मला सेम मास, सेम पॉइंट मास एका स्पेसिफिक डिस्टन्सवर ठेवल्यावर मिळेल. सो दॅट डिस्टन्स इज कॉल्ड एज रेडियस ऑफ गायरेशन. सो what radius of gyration actually does, it gives us idea about distribution of mass of the body. Okay, so if the body is like this, okay, so maximum part of mass is in this part, so radius of gyration will lie in this part. If body is like this, so maximum part of mass is in this part, okay, this one, then radius of gyration will lie in this part. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to see moment of inertia of uniform disk. So I am going to show you this equation because I want to show you the integral form of moment of inertia. So what is integral form of it? Consider a circle with center O. Okay, so if you want to, it is having a uniform thickness T and a uniform surface mass density sigma. So sigma is equal to m upon pi capital R square, where R is the total radius of disk. Now we consider a small element of circle, okay, or small elemental ring having mass dm, okay, at radius small r from the center. So पण काय करणार आहे आता इथे की we will use the integral form of moment of inertia. So that is I is equal to integration r square dm. Okay, so now जसं जसं आपण रेडियस वाढवत जाऊ, कन्सिडर कर की दिस इज अवर सर्कल अँड दिस इज अवर सेंटर. सो इफ अवर सर्कल इज लाईक दिस, त्याचा मास पण कमी असेल. अजून थोडी रेडियस वाढवली याचा मास वाढेल. ओके, अजून थोडी रेडियस वाढवली याचा मास अजून वाढेल. अँड वी गो टू द फुल सर्कल, मास विल बी मॅक्झिमम. सो जसं जसं आपलं रेडियस वाढत जाईल तसं तसं आपलं मास वाढत जाणार आहे. याचा अर्थ काय की मास इज प्रपोर्शनल टू रेडियस समहाव. So we have to calculate first how it is proportional to radius. Then we have to convert this dm into form of dr, and then write it in the form of integral. So we will first find out the relation between mass and radius. So since we have sigma is equal to m upon pi r square, so this is for radius. If the radius is small, that is smaller, so the smaller mass will be m is equal to pi r square. Okay, now we won't consider this one, we will consider this part only. So pi r square sigma is equal to m. Therefore, 2, we will differentiate with respect to r, then 2r pi sigma is equal to dm by dr. Okay, so 2r dr pi sigma is equal to dm. Now we are going to put it in the above equation. So I will become I is equal to case sigma into 2 sigma 2 pi sigma will get out of the equation. Okay, we already have r square there. We will add another r square. Oh, sorry, we already have r square there. We will add another r and dr over there. Okay, so our new equation is 2 pi sigma r cube divided by r cube dr. So now we are going to integrate it. So formula for integration of r x raised to n is equal to x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Correct? So for this, we will use the same. I is equal to 2 pi sigma integration r raised to 4 upon 4. Now, what are the limits of this integration? We are starting from the origin, so it will be 0 and going at the extreme radius of the circle. So, capital R. Okay. Now, now I is equal to 2 pi sigma r raised to 4 minus 0 divided by 4. So this 2 and 4 will get cancelled and we will get 2 in the bottom half. So I is equal to pi. Now what is sigma? Sigma is equal to capital M divided by pi r square. Okay. This pi will get cancelled. Here r raised to 4. So this square will r square will get cancelled again. So we get moment of inertia disk as half mr square. Okay. So moment we finally get after integrating all this, moment of inertia of a disk will be equal to half mr square. This is formula for moment of inertia of a thin disk or a disk of uniform thickness. So हे ॲक्च्युली दाखवायची गरज नव्हती, कारण युजली लोक काय करतात की फॉर्म्युला यूज करतात. बट इम्पॉर्टन्स काय होतं याच्यात की आपण इंटिग्रेशन कसं यूज केलं. सो जसं जसं याची सरफेस डेन्सिटी चेंज होत जाईल तसं असं आपल्याला इंटिग्रेशनमध्ये डिफरन्सेस करावे लागतील. सो वी यूज इट फॉर सर्कल. अदर शेपसाठी पण आपण हे सेम सेम प्रोसिजर यूज करू शकतो. ओके, now we are going to see next part, that is parallel axis and perpendicular axis. So या parallel axis आणि perpendicular axis theorem ची गरज काय आहे? So parallel axis theorem म्हणजे काय होणार की if there is a body, okay, the center of mass is at point C and at some point D we need to find out moment of inertia. So moment of inertia of point D will be equal to moment of inertia of point C plus total mass into distance between both the axes. So it will be given by ID is equal to IC plus MH square. Okay. So now how we get this? So याच्यासाठी derivation आहे, which will be comprised of some normal mathematical formulas. Okay. So consider a body having center of mass C and another axis where we need to find out the moment of inertia at point D. Okay. We consider a small point mass at point N over here. Okay. So we will form some right angle triangles for our need of construction. Now IC is the moment of inertia about point C and ID is the moment of inertia about point D. So ID is equal to integration dn square into dm. Okay, we have seen already seen I is equal to integration r square dm, correct. So इथे r square काय असणार distance between point d and m, d and m, कारण आपला जो point mass आहे dm it is situated at point m. So id dn square dm. Okay, now next ic. So ic is equal to integration cn square dm. Okay, so id आणि आय सी दोघांचे आपल्याला व्हॅल्यूज मिळाल्या. आता आपण काय करायचं की आय डीला पुढे थोडा इलॅबोरेट करत जायचं. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल यूज पायथागोरस थेरम फॉर डी एन स्क्वेअर. सो आय डी इज इक्वल टू इंटिग्रेशन डी एन स्क्वेअर प्लस एम एन स्क्वेअर डी एम. ओके, so cn square is equal to dm square plus mn square. So we wrote it here, over there. So now again id is equal to, आता dn ला आपण दोन पार्ट मध्ये डिवाइड करू शकतो परत, दॅट इज dc प्लस cm. So we'll write dc plus cm whole square plus mn square, okay, into dm. So this is our value of id. आता this value dc is equal to h, that is distance between both the axes. Okay, cm is cm and mn is the this height from m to n. So we will further elaborate it. So that we get id is equal to integration dc square plus 2dc into mc plus cm square plus mn square dm. Now this term cm square plus mn square can be also written as id is equal to dc square plus 2. Now dc is equal to h. So I will write h straight away. H square plus 2h mc plus cm square plus mn square is equal to cn square by Pythagoras theorem into dm. Okay, so we are clear up to this. Now we will separate the integration for all of them. So now integration of h square dm, okay, plus integration of 2h mc plus integration of cn square dm. Okay, so this term is cn square dm is the integration of is the moment of inertia about point C or center of mass. Okay, therefore I will straight away write it as IC. Next, h square dm. So integration of dm will be capital M, that is total mass of the body. Okay, I forgot dm over here. So we get mh square. Now m mc into mc into dm. So mc into dm shows the distribution of the center of mass around the circle. Distribution of mass around the circle. So about center of mass, uh, the mass distribution is always symmetric. So we can consider it to be zero. Therefore, this term will become zero, and IC is equal to IC. So ID is equal to IC plus mh square. So this is our equation for parallel axis theorem. Okay. So where it can be used, for example, there समज आपल्याकडे एक rod आहे. Okay. So rod's center of mass will lie here. So each moment of inertia will be IC. Now I need to find out the moment of inertia at this end. So this will be ID. If this distance is h, then ID is equal to IC plus mh square. Okay. And for many other applications, this can be used. So we are done with parallel axis theorem. Now we will move to perpendicular axis theorem. So perpendicular axis theorem is quite similar. Sorry, quite easier. Okay. Suppose this is my body lying in one of the planes, that is xy plane. Okay, and I need to find out its moment of inertia in the uh, direction of z-axis. I know its moment of inertia around x-axis. I know its moment of inertia around y-axis. So I know ix, I know iy, but I need to find out the moment of inertia around z-axis, that is iz. So how will I find out? Suppose I am considering the small point over here. Okay, so my perpendicular distance from x-axis will be considered as x. Now my perpendicular distance from y-axis will be considered as y. Okay, so my ix will be equal to x square integration dm. Iy will be equal to y square integration dm. Okay, now I need to find out the distance between z-axis and the point. So by looking at the picture, we can easily say that this is the diagonal of the rectangle. Okay, so diagonal of rectangle will be given by z square is equal to x square plus y square by Pythagoras theorem. Okay, because this will be also equal to y. So Iz is equal to z square dm. So I rub this picture right now. So Iz is equal to, now z square is equal to x square plus y square. So x square dm plus integration y square dm. Now we can easily write it as Ix plus Iy. So moment of inertia about z-axis equal to Ix plus Iy. Not only z-axis, if we know moment of inertia uh, of two perpendicular axes, then we can easily find out the moment of inertia about third perpendicular axis. Okay, so this was perpendicular axis theorem. So we saw if we know moment of inertia of center of mass, we can find out the moment of inertia of the axis parallel to the center of mass. Uh, Axis parallel to the axis passing through center of mass. Okay, so we are done with parallel axis theorem. We are done with perpendicular axis theorem. Now next point is torque acting on the rotating body. Okay, so now we are going for the derivations like torque, then angular momentum. Okay, and then we will finally see conservation of angular momentum and rolling motion. So this one. So we are done with difficult part. Now we are left with only easier one. Okay. So first of all, we will again go through the moment of inertia equation. So I is equal to summation mi ri square. Okay. What does it mean? M1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square up to mn rn स्क्वेअर. ओके. म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय होतो की जर माझ्याकडे एक बॉडी आहे त्याच्यामध्ये एन नंबर ऑफ पॉईंट्स आहेत, देन आय विल कॅल्क्युलेट द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ mass and the distance from the axis square, okay, for all the points, and will add up all them to get the total moment of inertia of the body. Okay. So similarly आपण टॉर्क कॅल्क्युलेट करताना काय करणार ते आपण आता बघूया. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टॉर्कचा फॉर्म्युला काय असतो? टॉर्क इज इक्वल टू फोर्स इंटू perpendicular distance. So that distance will be r. Okay, now again force is equal to, so if a particle is performing or if a body is performing circular motion, each and every particle will be performing circular motion. Okay, so for simply we will say force is equal to ma into r. Now in rotational motion we can write this a as m is equal to r alpha, okay, into r. Now tau is equal to m r square alpha. So we have got tau is equal to m r square alpha. For n number of particles, tau 1 is equal to m1 r1 square alpha 1. Tau 2 is equal to m2 r2 square alpha 2. For tau n is equal to m3 r3 square alpha 3. Okay. So clear up to this. Now we will see what actually happens in the body, which is rotating. So first of all, I will consider a circular body. Okay. So alpha is what? Angular acceleration. So if I consider a point like this over here, so जर तो इथून इथपर्यंत मूव्ह झाला, ओके, so what will be its angular velocity if it covers distance angle theta in time t, and its angular velocity will be theta by t. Okay. Now if I consider a point over here, okay, it will move with same angular velocity, so omega will be same for here to here as well as here to here, but but linear acceleration and linear velocity will be different because the distance covered is more in same amount of time. Similarly, if I consider this point to be at rest in initial phase, and if it covers angle theta, then it will cover the same angle alpha in the same period of time. Sorry, same, it will cover same angle theta in the same period of time. Okay, so angular acceleration will be given by theta by t square. Okay, it means what? की हे जेवढाही रोटेशन होऊन दे, angular acceleration ची value will be same. So what will happen if I have a body like this? Okay, so it starts moving in a rotational motion in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so जर माझा point इथे आहे, it will cover a distance, and similarly दूसरा एक point है, it will cover similar uh, another distance. So distance of point 1 will be less than point 2. So obviously velocity will be different, acceleration will be different. But what about angular velocity and angular acceleration? Angular velocity will be same for both of them. and angular acceleration will be also same for both of them. Means if body starts rotating, angular acceleration and angular velocity will be same for all the points in the body. Okay, so I can write it as tau 1 is equal to m1 because mass of each particle will be different, r1 square, distance of center and each particle will be different, and alpha, not alpha 1 because angular acceleration will be same for entire body. Therefore, tau 2 is equal to m2 r2 alpha, tau n is equal to mn rn square alpha. Okay, so this is my individual torque for each and every particle. Now, if I add all the torques, I will get tau is equal to tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3 up to tau n. Okay, so tau is equal to m1 r1 square into tau plus m2 r2 square into tau plus up to mn rn square up to tau. Okay, therefore we can easily write it as tau is equal to, we will get alpha common, m1 rn square plus m2 r2 square up to mn rn square. Okay, now this term is what? Moment of inertia. So I into alpha will be our value of tau. Therefore, tau is equal to I alpha. Okay, this is equation for torque acting on a rotating body. Okay, so we are done with torque acting on the rotating body. Now we will see angular momentum. So what is angular momentum actually? We have seen linear momentum. So when we move in linear direction, we see that momentum of the body is equal to mv. Now similarly, when a particle is performing circular motion or rotational motion, we consider angular momentum, which is given by mv r. Okay, we will simply multiply it by r. Now, how we go to the come about the final equation of the uh, angular momentum that we are going to see right now. So, angular momentum is denoted by L, and its basic formula is mvr. Okay, for each and every particle, value of L will be L1 is equal to m1 v1 r1. Okay, L2 is equal to m2 v2 r2. Okay, since we have already seen की जसं जसं आपण पार्टिकलचं डिस्टन्स वाढवत जाऊ वेलोसिटी विल increase, जसं जसं डिस्टन्स कमी करू वेलोसिटी विल डिक्रीज. Okay, so now for n number of particles it will be m2 v2, sorry, mn vn into rn. But since particle is performing circular motion, for each and every particle v1 is equal to r1 omega, v2 is equal to r2 omega, v3 is equal to r3 omega up to vn. Okay, so we will replace v by omega into r. Therefore, we will get omega r square here, omega r square here, omega r square here. Okay, now we will add all the angular momentum. So we get L is equal to L1 plus L2 plus up to Ln. Therefore, L is equal to m1 square, m1 r1 square omega plus m2 r2 square omega up to mn rn square omega. Therefore, L is equal to, now omega is common, so I will again get I over here mr square or MIRI square into omega. So angular momentum will be given by L is equal to I omega. Okay, so we have got the formula for torque, we have got the formula for angular momentum. Now we will see the concept of conservation of angular momentum. Okay, so we have seen the formula for torque, we have seen the formula for angular momentum. Now we will see conservation of angular momentum. So what is conservation of angular momentum actually? If I don't have any external unbalanced force acting on the body, then my angular momentum will always remain conserved. Okay, so it means that their net force on the body acting will be zero, or external force acting on the body will be equal to zero. So how we are going to prove it? We know that L is equal to R bar cross P bar. This is vector form of angular momentum. We will differentiate with respect to T. Okay. So this is U of U into V form. So R bar cross dp by dt plus P bar cross dr by dt. Now here dp by dt is equal to F and dr by dt is equal to V. Therefore, L bar is equal to R bar cross F bar plus P bar cross V bar. Now I can again write L bar is equal to R bar cross F bar plus M V bar cross V bar. Okay, because P is equal to MV. So V bar cross V bar will be 0 because cross product of similar components is always 0. So R bar cross F bar plus 0. Therefore L will be equal to R bar cross F bar. Now this term R bar cross F bar is simply torque acting on the body. So what happens if there is no external balance force acting on the body? Then my net torque acting on the body will be equal to 0. And my okay, so this is dl by dt actually. So my net torque acting on the body will be equal to 0. So if there is no external balance force acting on the body, my momentum, angular momentum is conserved at this point. Therefore, I can say L will remain constant if and only if there is no external force acting on the body or no external torque acting on the body. Okay. So where it is used? Suppose if a ballet dancer is performing, she has her hands outstretched like this. Okay, so due to this, her moment of inertia will be more. Okay, and she will have angular momentum omega. Now she kept her arms on her stomach or waist. So what will happen? Her moment of inertia will drop because mass is remaining same, but her radius is changing, or the distribution of mass is coming more towards the center of the axis. So moment of inertia will drop. So this will rise the angular velocity of the ballet dancer. Why? Because angular momentum is constant. So I is equal L is equal to I omega. So since I increases, omega will decrease, and when omega increases, I will decrease. Okay. So this is how we apply conservation of angular momentum. Now we are going to talk about rolling motion. So what is rolling motion actually? Suppose I have a circular body which is going to roll down this track without slipping. So what will happen? जसं जसं तो खाली जायला लागेल तशी अशी त्या बॉडीची लिनियर वेलोसिटी वाढायला लागेल, ॲज वेल ॲज तिची अँग्युलर वेलोसिटी पण वाढेल, कारण ती स्लिप होत नाही याचा अर्थ काय की इट विल रोल ऑन द ट्रॅक. ओके, सो जशी अशी रोल होईल तशी अशी ती अँग्युलर वेलोसिटी गेन करत जाईल. सो त्याच्यामुळे काय काय चेंजेस होणार त्यामध्ये, एकतर लिनियर वेलोसिटी वाढणार आणि सेकंड अँग्युलर वेलोसिटी वाढणार. सो the energy due to linear velocity is called as kinetic energy, and the energy due to angular velocity is called as rotational kinetic energy. So my angular will sorry my kinetic energy will be given by K is equal to half mv square. Okay. On the other hand, my rotational kinetic energy, it will be dependent on omega. So it will be given by I omega square. Okay. Now this will these are these two are the energies of this body which is performing rolling motion. Okay. So total kinetic energy of the body or total energy of the body while rolling will be given by Ke plus rotational kinetic energy. Okay, therefore half mv square plus half I omega square. Okay, so total energy will be half mv square plus half I omega square. Now, uh, how we actually do write it? If a body is going from here to here, it is having a distance, uh, having to cover a distance h. So this mgh will be equal to not kinetic energy, not rotating kinetic energy. It will be equal to total energy of rolling motion. Okay, so mgh will be equal to half mv square plus half I omega square. Okay, now we are going to see relation between the kinetic energy, rolling kinetic, rolling kinetic energy, and energy of rolling motion. Okay, so first is Ke. K is given by half mv square. Now, rotating kinetic energy, or we can simply say it as rotational energy. It is half I omega square. Now, I is equal to again mk square, mass into radius of gyration square into omega square. Okay. Now I can write omega is equal to v by r. So I will get v square by r square. So it will be half mv square k square by r square. And now my total energy will be half mv square plus half mv square k square by r square. Okay. So the ratio of Ke to the rotational energy to the total energy will be equal to, now half mv square will go from all the sides. I will get 1 raised to k square by r square plus 1 plus k square by r square. Okay, you solve it, you will get it as half mv square raised to half mv square k square by r square plus, and half mv square into 1 plus k square by r square. So now we will multiply by r square on all the sides. We will get r square raised to k square raised to r square plus k square. Okay. So this is the ratio of kinetic energy to rolling energy to sorry kinetic energy to rotational energy to the total rolling energy of the body. Okay. So we are done with rotational motion. Okay. Uh, we have covered all the part uh, containing definition of rotational motion, then moment of inertia of body, then radius of gyration. Then we saw the derivation for moment of inertia of uniform disk. This was important only because we uh, need to know how to use integral form of moment of inertia. Then for parallel axis theorem, perpendicular axis theorem, torque acting on a body tau is given by I omega, sorry I alpha. Then angular momentum of body, which is given by I omega. Then conservation of angular momentum. So similar to linear momentum, before and after collision, linear momentum is conserved if there is no external force acting on it. Similarly, if there is no external force or external torque acting on the body, angular momentum will also be conserved. Then conservation of then last part was rolling motion. Okay, so rolling motion will tell us that the total energy of the body is equal to kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. Okay, so uh, we have done entire rotational motion now. Okay, we are done with it.